Hello, this is OC Skywatch. It is the 30th of October 2015. It's around 7 or so p.m. I'm going to make this video showing you some of the data that I've collected over the past, week or so. The computer might be acting up a bit because it has been on for like a good 2 or 3 weeks straight. So bear with me if we have any technical problems. I'm going to make this as quick as I can. Okay, what you're looking at right here is a precipitation estimate over the past week or so for most of the state of California here. You can see that from 12 Zulu on October 23rd to 12 Zulu on October 30th, there's been very little precipitation all around here. Hell, Orange County got nothing. Nothing at all. Up towards the north, though, most areas are less than an inch of rain. October was relatively dry here. We're supposed to be getting around 3/4 of an inch of rain in this location, but we just weren't seeing it, which is rather unfortunate. And I'm going to show you the reason why right now we haven't been getting all that rainfall. There was 2 or so systems that went through over the course of like a week or so, but no rain both times. Okay, let's move on. This is a water vapor map, October 23rd going into 24th, 23 to 2:30 Zulu, and let me get my controls right. This poor machine. Okay, you see that there's low pressure to the west, and there's some very heavy aerosols being laid down. Well, that's to create a capping inversion and suck up all the moisture and, prevent it from falling on us. That's one of the goals. Also, another goal could be to migrate moisture over. Anyways, regardless, you see this low pressure looks a little bit odd. It's like there's a bunch of dry air that's near the core of this thing. It's just, wow, it's just kind of unusual. And, okay, this is Hurricane Olaf right here. You can see that it's looking kind of funny. There's little lines on the east side. It just looks not healthy at all. See dry air over towards the west. It's just very odd all around here. And you can see the moisture fields starting to merge up into this cold front right here, brought on by this low pressure. Yeah, that's why they're spraying exponentially, because this moisture in combination with the moisture from low pressure would bring quite a bit of rain to California. Okay. You can see here, this is a radar map. Oh, shoot. Okay, let's play it. Well, I think this thing glitched out a bit, but there ain't much at all. Okay, let's move on. Oh, here we go. This thing wants to give me the controls now. This is a few hours later, October 24th, 2:30 to 6 Zulu. You can see the low pressure's starting to get a little bit, it's looking a little bit weird. You notice towards the north end of it, looks like there's clockwise flow starting to take shape, and yeah, there's all this dry air around it. See all the lines coming in, these things starting to merge. Here's another view of Olaf. Very weird activity, especially on the east side. Just look at that for a second. Very weird. It's like it's being blown apart, and yeah, these things would be caused by microwave energy hitting the thing. Anyways, yeah, you see what's happening to the front here. Very heavy chemtrails being laid all throughout this thing. Okay, this is around like 12 hours later, October 24th, 16:30 to 20 Zulu. Wow, what happened to this thing? This low pressure looks awful. It looks like the rotation's shutting down a bit, and it's just getting all disorganized. Yeah, you're even seeing them spray into it. And them spraying here is just gonna weaken the core even more. I see a clockwise west side. a huge clockwise flow up on northeast side. Both areas are being impacted. That's kind of odd. Again, tons of aerosols all around here just to weaken it, because they cannot allow this low pressure to build up and bring a good amount of rain, as that'll disrupt with their plans. Okay, down here the aerosols are being very heavily lain all across California as this front is progressing in. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's slow this down. Just have a look at what's happening here. Look at all these lines. That's incredible. No wonder we got no precipitation here in Orange County. Okay, this is a few hours later, October 24th, 23:30 Zulu. Low pressure is looking even worse. Look at all the aerosol spraying as well. That's being sucked into this thing. That's going to weaken it even more. And see, there's multiple areas of counterclockwise now that are starting to show up, and there's clockwise over here, and it's a giant mess, pretty much. It looks terrible. It's just turning into a little notch here on the south side, and meanwhile, we're getting hammered in California. No rain here, at least in the southern part. Northern part could have got a little bit, but still, regardless, even if they did get some, it's very negligible. The very little precipitation is not going to help the drought and fill up the reservoirs. Again, let's slow this down a bit and look at the heavy aerosols. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's look at Olaf here. Yeah, I made a video on this a few days ago, showing you this in detail. I might have repeated myself more than once, but still, what's happening is incredible. See the little feather effect and rotation on each side. You can see a little cloud coming out of this thing. It's like a roll cloud. Okay. Okay, this is October 26th, 6:30 to 10 Zulu. Look as all this stuff is coming on shore. This used to be low pressure, and it's not bringing much of anything. Hell, it even looks like they're pressing dry air down here. Try to dry out the area. They're preparing for the wind event. The southern part of the state is still getting hammered. Okay, let's slow down. Look at that. That's insane. Almost all the time where I see them spraying is where there's a weather system located in the vicinity. Look at Hurricane Olaf here. This thing's pretty much being impaled by dry air. It's not looking good. There's a little notch here, it looks like, as well. Yeah, that's not natural. Anyways, just look at this for a second. It's a horror. Clouds are disappearing. You see a clockwise rotation and C2 rings being all aerosolized and whatnot. You see that by just the features. That almost looks like a high pressure near this island. The air's getting kind of dry around here, and during that time we were having some offshore winds. The winds weren't strong, really. Not as strong as what they're going to be like in a few days here. Still, the offshore wind is not good. It was dry. You see this low pressure up in the Gulf of Alaska starting to form up. Mother Nature is desperately trying to bring rain to the west coast and whatnot, but unfortunately, though, all these terrorist activities are preventing her from doing just that. It's quite a sad reality. There's a bit of funny activity in this low pressure. You notice this huge high pressure just a little bit northwest of Hawaii. That's going to bring us a wind event in the next coming few days. See, they're already getting the flow set up. Okay. Here's just another view. This is long wave. Just look at this storm imploding right here. That looks very weird, and definitely see clouds disappearing, and then there's an empty area here. These are just the lower level clouds, it seems. But yeah, pretty much all the thunderstorm activity is being put to rest here. Let's just look at that. See a little blast here and clockwise rotation, and it's all smudged out. And now here's a good view of aerosols over California. Right here also stuff's disappearing. That's also a possible indication of man-made high pressure. Okay, let's slow this down. See all the lines all across here. It's especially visible over the Mojave Desert and desert down here. Alright, sorry about that. I had to use a restroom. Anyways, let's continue on. This is October 26th, 1830 to 22 Zulu. And, well, it's almost time for round 2 for California. See a bunch of lines over here. Very, very heavy. Let's slow this down. Yeah, you see those things appearing. Again, I almost always see these aerosols in conjunction with weather systems. Okay, this is what's left of Olaf. Not looking too great. See, there's dry air being pressed down here. It's the clockwise rotation. Looks like a little blast over here. And clouds are just falling apart. Quite sad. And yeah, this thing's pretty much merged with the front here, and this thing out in the Pacific looks very weird. It's because they destroyed the other low. See a more obvious spring in the front, even in the middle of it. Another low wants to curl up. Capping inversion's not going to help. You know, the aerosols here are being laid down because the capping inversion effects, it would prevent any thunderstorms or rain from developing in this thing, so it's pretty much a dry system. That also migrates whatever moisture above us. It's quite sad. This is why we're getting very little rain, folks. Anyways, look at this high pressure. It's kind of an odd area of opening just north of Hawaii. They're definitely moving in this high pressure here for wind event.
Polar vortex, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. This is water vapor. This is around 12 hours later, October 27th, 6 to 9:30 Zulu. Wow. Look what's happening here. Okay, first of all, this thing wants to coil up, but looks like it's not being permitted. The secondary system up here, it doesn't look so well. I mean, what happened to its features? Just like a day or so ago, it was looking okay. I mean, if you look. I mean, this was a powerful low. Just look at that. And now look. It's starting to lose shape. What happened? Well, let me tell you something. They were crushing it. by dry air. That's how they crush a lot of the low pressure systems.
Along with the use of aerosols.
Look at that flow going into Alaska. That can't be good. Anyways, California's getting hammered again. That's obviously to stop the rain coming out of this thing. I'm telling you, we would have had a hell of a lot of rain if it hadn't been for all these operations continuing. None of our weather is natural anymore. Let's just make that clear. Okay, let's slow this down. Look at all the lines in here. Oh my gosh. I know northern part of the state got a little bit of rain out of it, but it was highly suppressed. And that's an understatement. This thing could have dumped like a good, oh wow, probably good like 2 to 3 inches up here.
Maybe more.
But instead it dumped less than an inch in most places. It's because these things create a cupping inversion and severely limits convection or stops it. See, storms can't bubble up when there's a hot air layer at 20,000 to 30,000 feet. It's not going to happen. The air needs to be cold up there. Anyways, just look at all these lines. Of course, they're trying to Photoshop this thing out, but they can't do it completely. You can still see some evidence here, especially off coast. This is the same time in Longwave here. Look at Olaf. It's just a lower level cloud thing now. It's nothing significant at all. In Longwave, the aerosols actually show up a bit better. I mean, you see it right off of the coast here. They're just suddenly appearing. Look at all the lines. Oh, here's a great example. Just right here where my mouse is. You can see that Mother Nature wants to still try to bring rain into California, but unfortunately though, she was severely hindered. I think they allowed this little amount to form as a psychological operation. I really think that's one of their motives. It's very complex, this whole geoengineering, chemtrail, whatever you want to call it, programs are. They're very complicated. There's a lot of politics involved. Okay, this is October 27th, a few hours later. This is 10:30 to 14 Zulu. Still being hammered. Pretty sure this would have been all rain if they hadn't messed with it. Is that a little roll cloud or whatever here? I don't know. Kind of looks like they're building in high pressure here. No, it's just very weird. I mean, I don't think it's the surface wind causing that. Anyways, just look at this whole mess for a second. That's horrible. Very little precipitation falling, and you can blame these guys. It's extremely heavy spray, and it might also be pressing down dry air in the area. Not good. Okay, this is October 27th, yet another few hours later. This is 18:30 to 22 Zulu. Well, low pressure is not curling up like you would expect here. Still being hit really strong. Stronger than a few hours ago. Just look at that. Look at all these obvious lines. As I said, they can't Photoshop all this out. Getting absolutely hammered again. We were hammered for many days. You know, quite frankly, I'm surprised any trees are still alive in this state. It's a miracle. Anyways, pretty much the objective here is to shut down rain. This would have been a very long... The storm would have lasted a few days if it hadn't been for these people. Oh, they're even spraying in San Joaquin Valley. An indication of warfare, an open declaration of war. Because this is pretty much where a lot of food grows. They're just trying to poison it. As I said, there's many, many agendas behind this. Man, just look at the whole state being plastered. Haven't seen it this bad for a long, long time. There's actually huge dry air pockets starting to show up. And that's just a little bit
East-northeast.
of Hawaii here. You can see the air just gradually expanding. They're building in the high pressure now.
Making it stronger.
And you'll see in a few days here that the thing gets very, very big. I'm not saying that it's not big already, because this thing already looks massive. It's very, very unusual dry air area appearing. Let's go back a few frames here. See, it's still expanding. This is what it was before, and now look at it. It's grown. The remnants of Olaf are under this dry air area. This thing's going to start going towards the west, so yeah, nothing's going to come out of it. See, Mother Nature's still trying to bring the rain, but unfortunately, though, it's getting all smudged out. Yeah, you see that right here. Rain's still trying to develop, but as it heads closer to California, they do this almost every single damn time.
Along with destroying low pressure.
You know, in November, I'm not going to expect a whole lot of rain because of these continuing operations, though there's a kind of a change in plans that I see in the jet stream map, but it's not going to have a whole lot of precipitation. It's more of like a cool down thing. Anyways, I'll probably show you that at the very end after I show you some of the NASA Earth View thing. This is October 28th, and that's from
1930
to 2230 Zulu. You can see a bunch of unusual air pockets starting to expand over towards the east. And look at all this dry air. It's just all around. This is what's left of what's trying to bubble up here, but unfortunately the Orange County got no rain out of this thing. Well, I could see why. There was aerosols and then pressing down dry air here, looks like. It's just rapidly expanding. It's all along the coast here. It's not just up near San Francisco. It's all around. Dry air is just rapidly expanding. Sierra's got a little bit of rain or precipitation, but that's not gonna be too helpful, because I don't think it's snow. Hope I'm wrong about that, but still, right now the Sierra snowpack is 0%. We don't have any snow up there at all. Okay. This is October 29th, 0 to 3:30 Zulu. Wow, look how deep this dry air thing is getting. That's insane. Low pressure is gonna form out of this thing, and with a high pressure, that's gonna create a tight pressure gradient and bring us some wind. Anyways, just look at all this thing getting drier. It's extremely, extremely dry. So yeah, now we're dealing with pretty much a dry air situation. Of course, aerosols are still being implemented to build up and keep this high pressure and keep the jet stream flat. That's a massive amount of dry air, though. Look at that. It's huge. This high pressure is huge as well. It's being fueled by aerosols and ionospheric heaters. Okay, this is October 29th, 1930 to 2230 Zulu. There's actually an hour gap here, that's why it kind of looks laggy. Very, very heavy aerosols over here to keep the high pressure going and trap in heat and whatnot, and could also be possibly to assist the ionospheric heaters. Anyways, look at this giant lift starting to occur in the high pressure. That's gonna be priming us for a wind event. This is also to keep the jet stream flat. So yeah, the wind event's gonna start pretty soon. Okay. This is visible here. Oh, this thing is lagging up a little bit because of the frame being weird. Anyways, you can see in the same area where the dry air is expanding over here, there's an unusual opening in the clouds. You can see the remnants of Hurricane Olaf, the lower level. It's going the opposite direction now because they're building in high pressure all around. Anyways, just look at that for a second. Just a strange opening. Okay, let's slow it down. See, as clouds want to cross over there, it's just diminishing. There's only very, very small marine clouds over here.
See another area to the east-northeast.
I find that very bizarre. Over here, they're photoshopping a lot of these aerosols off of the coast of California. What a surprise. But yeah, you still see a little hint of them over here. Especially as it gets a little bit darker. See, it's very, very fine, but yet you can see them. This is pretty much when the wind's starting here. This is October 30th, 4:30 to 8 Zulu. There we go. I think I wanted to act up a bit. Anyways, this thing is nice and strong, so they're going to let off here a bit. Anyways, right here, bunch of dry air being pressed down. Very unusual. It's a little funny activity around here. See a little, could this be from the surface winds? I don't know. Kind of looks a little bit scaly though. Anyways, this thing looks like surface wind up here, where these things are just disappearing, and you see the low pressure is really starting to kick up momentum, and then there's dry air being pressed down over here, and in combination with this it could create a really strong pressure gradient and feel the winds. Fortunately though, it didn't gust past 45. That's a freaking miracle. I thought it was going to gust over 50. Okay. This is a few hours later, October 30th, 6:30 to 10 Zulu. This dry air thing over here is getting massive. I see two little boundaries over here. One right here and one right here. They're very, very faint. I don't know if YouTube compression will allow you to see it, but see a little waviness over here and then a little thing over here as well. There's two things. This thing right here could possibly be from the dry air being pressed down. This over here could be from surface wind.
Leaning a bit more towards dry air though.
And it's kind of odd, this whole thing. It's even odder when it looks all scaly. That makes me think that there's dry air being pressed down over here by ionospheric heaters. It's very, very interesting. Let's stop this for a sec. Okay. Oh, here we go. See these things appearing suddenly over here? This boundary right here looks like it was lasting a little bit longer. It's very, very interesting. Regardless, there's a tight pressure gradient and winds are coming right through here, and they're dry. Anyways, very funny activity. This is the same time in long wave view. There's some very funny activity off of this island here. It looks like there's beams coming in from multiple directions. I have a feeling that, just a slight feeling that this island transmitter right here is causing all sorts of mischief. Because if you look, looks like the wind's coming like the north or north-northeast, something along that matter. What would cause this? I'm very suspicious of this thing being used to help create the dry air thing. I know there's 6 arrays on this island. I've seen it on Google Earth. Just go check out for yourself. It's by the airstrip. These arrays are on this island. So yeah, it's looked kind of strange. Maybe there's a mixture of winds and causing this, but I'm kind of suspicious. This thing right over here towards the southeast, a little waviness starting to pick up. Kind of interesting, to say the least. Okay, this was taken very recently, a few hours ago. This is October 30th, 23:30 Zulu. Wow. Seems like the winds are starting to die down a bit. A little boundary here, but that's not too unusual. Surface winds are starting to rebound and come off the ocean, so I don't know. But yeah, you see the heavy aerosols up towards the northwest. Probably keep the jet stream all flattened so no low pressure things coil up. This is during the daytime. Anyways, just look at this massive thing of dry air. It's extending. A lot of the northeastern Pacific is being affected by this giant high. I mean, seriously, this thing is massive. It's extending from the same latitude as
Northern
California, all the way down south of Puerto Vallarta latitude. That's very south. It's just a very, very weird open area, and I see little things appearing next to this island. They look a little bit funny. This little waviness. Let's slow this down, or stop this. Okay, in the first frame or so, that's probably where you're going to see it best. Right here, this is the second frame. See little lines right here.
also see a little boundary in between the lines.
It's very, very odd. Let's play this through one cycle, or 2 cycles.
See a boundary moving.
Just very interesting all around here. All these operations are the reason why the planet is on its last legs right now, and no one's stepping up and doing nothing about it. Of course, awareness is very important in testing, but we need to start taking some actions because this situation's getting extremely, extremely serious. Okay, this is a combination of a satellite and a jet stream map, and then there's also lower level winds that are showing. This is from October 23rd, 12 Zulu to October 30th, 12 Zulu. It's a week. You can see that there's a lot of low pressure off of the west coast, but as time progresses, well, it's going to be ripped apart. This right here is Hurricane Olaf coming in, and this is the front right here. You can see the aerosols and whatnot starting to be laying down pretty heavily. You see a high pressure over here. They're going to start strengthening. Okay, 12 hours later, this low pressure isn't looking so well. It looks like it's being torn apart, and again you see all the aerosols around here. This is October 24th, 12 Zulu at the moment. You'll see this thing start merging. Another 12 hours, this low pressure is done for. It's just a notch right now. This is October 25th, this is 0 Zulu. See the little feather effect around this Hurricane Olaf here. 12 hours later, Olaf was trying to reform, but unfortunately though it's still pretty weak. You see the first front coming through California now. There's very, very little rain with it. Aerosols are there. See another low pressure starting to curl up near the Aleutian Islands here, and unfortunately though it's not going to live long. October 26th, 0 Zulu. It looks like a nice low pressure, but
If you look a little bit closer, you notice that something's a bit off.
it's not going to last long. Okay, this is Hurricane Olaf right here. It's just looking kind of weird. It's all smudged out, and you see the aerosols off our coast again, as usual.
Moisture's going to merge with the front again.
You can see this low pressure right here is starting to look a little bit odd. Little line right here all the way through, and see the aerosols that are poking out. Aerosols in Southern California as well. Right now is October 26th, 12 Zulu. Okay, this is October 27th, 0 Zulu. This low pressure, what happened to it? Well, as expected, they destroy it. Just 24 hours ago, it was looking okay. See, Olaf merged onto this front here. See the aerosols and chemtrails. Okay, this is 12 hours later. October 27th, 12 Zulu. Even more destruction here. This thing wants to curl up here, but it's not going to do anything. Mother Nature's just trying to respond. See a little rain over here, but it's not going to reach us. October 28th, 0 Zulu. We're getting hammered again. There's a little bit of rain up towards the north, but not much. Southern California, barely anything at all. As I said earlier, we didn't even get like a drop in Orange County. And you see this high pressure ridge is right here now, and okay, let's move forward again. They finally marked it as a high. Of course, it's because it's a very strong high pressure manufactured. This is Mother Nature still wanting to bring rain to California. See little clouds, but it's not going to do much at all for us here. This is lower level remnants of Olaf. It's heading back where it came from. It's very bizarre. This is October 29th, 0 Zulu. There's a front that came through around 2 days ago. High pressure's moving on in here. Low pressure's going to come out of this thing, and pressure gradients are going to create a wind event. Okay, this is October 29th, 12 Zulu. See, there's a northwest wind over a lot of California towards the coast. Northwest wind is going to turn into a northeast wind soon. You see the high pressure is getting closer. See, high pressure's now moving a bit more. Actually, the high is extending way up here now. So obviously it's getting bigger. The wind's starting to change direction here. It's now leaning more towards the north. See, there's a low pressure right in this little notch in the jet stream. Okay, let's see next. October 30th, 12 Zulu. Up here there's a northeast wind.
I guess it doesn't show on the coast.
There's a bunch of aerosols with this thing, of course. There's low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska, but that's not going to do much, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this thing. Anyways, I'm quite disappointed that they couldn't leave Mother Nature alone. She's trying to bring rain all the way, but unfortunately with the weather futures and contracts and whatnot, derivatives, they're not going to allow it to rain. You got to realize that there's a lot of profit to be made, and that's one of the reasons why California drought is extending for over, see, right now it's been around 8 or so years. It's not a 4-year drought like everyone wants to think. It's more like an 8-year drought. Okay, let's go into the world view. We're almost done here. Okay, this is October 23rd. You see a bunch of aerosols above us, typical by the formations as you head north. Here's a good shot, very visible as you head up the coast. Looks kind of dirty. People are wondering why we're having very little precipitation. The answer's right here. Because it's all being spread away and they're using ionospheric heaters in conjunction to control our weather. Whoa, that looks like a very, very long streak up here. It's extending all the way from Redding to, well, there's San Francisco. That's crazy. It sucks seeing this on the satellite maps each and every day. By the way, I'm probably going to head up to Sacramento next week, so this will probably be the last video before that time. No, I'm not going to stop exposing these programs. That's the last thing I want to do. But yeah, I have some stuff to do up there. Okay, this is October 24th. Very, very obvious lines. There's even a little X formation here. Cute. Well, it's not cute because it's blocking rain.
And poisoning.
See the little moisture field up here coming from Olaf. They just can't let us have it. Up towards the north, it's even worse. Lines everywhere. Very heavy over San Francisco, that's for sure. And, well, you can imagine up in the northwest as well. It's a bunch of junk. Ew, pretty icky. You know, just looking at these little things, it makes my skin crawl. Well, it's very heavy here. Off the coast of Southern California. I don't think I picked that up, I only picked up these things. It's extending all the way in this flow, coming off of Olaf. It's extremely heavy. Okay, this is October 25th. Looks like a bunch of frequencies are being used in here. I don't know of any other explanations here. But yeah, this stuff is very visible. Makes me wonder what's happening. I know they're definitely suppressing rain off of this thing. Aerosols are helping. That's nasty looking. We were absolutely plastered on the 25th. High clouds. Yeah, I'm not gonna fall for this high clouds media bullshit. Sorry about the language, but this is not high clouds from what I see. It's something much more sinister. High clouds are natural, but they don't appear like this. Come on. This is upsetting. See aerosols off the coast, as usual, of the northwest. This used to be a nice low pressure system, but it's going to be destroyed. And this is near the Aleutian Islands. Let's see what kind of details I can get off of here. Looks like they're spraying aerosols up the northwest side, so it wraps around and weakens the core. But they like to do that. I see also a little waviness.
Also see some patches of open space next to it.
Who knows at this point? See a bunch of dry air up here. It's like a giant hole in the clouds. And see little lines. Who knows what's going on in here? But folks, seems like they're weakening this low pressure here. Looks very weird in here. This is Olaf before it was completely blasted apart. Not saying that they weren't blasting it apart, because they were. See a little weird effect here, especially on the southwest side. It just looks odd to me. They were pressing a bunch of dry air down here. There's a bunch of nasty stuff I see. Anyways, this whole thing looks weird. Of course they were spraying into it. Looks like a bunch of microwave stuff. Just look at all these aerosols. It's more than I thought. Trying to be covert and hide these from me. Unfortunately though, for them, they've been caught again. Just look at all these things. A moisture field, moisture plume coming off. Looks all weird. Okay, I need to move on here because this is getting long, very long. See a bunch of aerosols up in this whole mess here. That's nothing unusual. Anyways, look what Mother Nature's trying to give, but look at the lines around. Look at the smudginess. My gosh. Almost looks like dry air was being pressed down here. It's like a big giant random opening in the clouds. There's also smudgy aerosol stuff. Whoa. What happened? Okay. Sorry about that. Anyways, heavy aerosols all around this thing, and this low pressure near the Aleutian Islands pretty much smashed. What did it look like the day before? It looked okay, but right now it just looks smashed. I couldn't let the thing live. God, there's so much data in here. This thing's amazing. That's probably why I'm spending a lot of time in this map. Okay, not a whole lot of activity in California now. Let's move on to October 27th. Looks like round 2 here. Very, very obvious lines, especially around Bakersfield. Look at that. That's nasty. Over here, this is a mixture of regular clouds and aerosols. Very, very weird effect here. It's all smudged out. See the obvious line over the desert, of course. Anyways, just look at this. This is where your rain's going, folks. It's going out the window. Wow. Gets worse when you get up north. Look at that. That's scary. It's very sad, to say the least. Oh, wow. Up near Oregon. This is a great example of what's going on here. Another great example. It's pretty much to shut down the rain and migrate moisture and whatnot. I think we already covered that. Still, man. Okay, this is October 28th. There's some clouds coming over the area, but unfortunately, no, not much rain. Hurricane Olaf is pretty much done for. This is what's left of it here. This was October 27th. It just looks very weird all around. It's not doing much, and see a bunch of scaliness. I'm almost certain these are frequencies because I know they were pressing dry air into this. Just look at that. What happened? Seeing changed directions. These are just lower level clouds. Whoa. What do I see here? I see a bunch of dry air just northeast of Hawaii. It looks like there's a giant opening here. Look at that line. They didn't do a careful job of photoshopping this, I see. Probably gonna patch it up as soon as I speak out about it. It's typical. Man, it's definitely a weird area. It's opening up. Just look at that. Kind of see a blend of stuff around Los Angeles. Low pressure off the coast, it looks like, but Looks like high pressure here. There's barely any clouds. Okay. October 29th, pretty clear. But as you head north, see all the aerosols and high pressure is being built up. They're pressing down air on many areas. So many areas that would be illogical to show every single one of them. These are very fine aerosols. Looks like this low pressure off the coast got nuked.
It was wanting to form.
There's nothing left of it, I don't think. This definitely looks like dry air around here. And that's just crazy, how stuff just disappears like that. These things are very fine. I see visible lines here. X marks the spot. And then there's another line next to it. Of course. Okay, let's get October 30th. See a bunch of low-level weird stuff here. And not many aerosols over California, but up north there are some. They dissipate as they head over, so yeah, you don't see them on the map too well after a certain point. Still very interesting stuff here. Lower level. Now they're gonna create a notch cooldown for us. Just wondering how that's gonna play out. Only time will tell. Let's just look at this island for a second. See, yesterday. That looks like, it all depends on what the wind was doing.
See an open area to the northwest.
Kind of interesting, but anyways, it has been a rather long video. Unlike what I wanted, I spent a lot of time in this worldview thing. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please share. Probably not gonna upload another video till like the middle of November because, well, I'm gonna go up to Sacramento and I won't have a whole lot of satellite data. The only thing I have is a phone, and I don't even know how to record off of that thing. And besides, storing up maps there will be really difficult, especially with limited data.
Okay, I forgot to show you the jet stream map here, so I'm gonna add that in right now at the end of the video. Alright, you see the high pressure that's in place right now? There's a jet stream that's coming right down through the center of the state. This high pressure is eventually gonna break down and then a notch is gonna come down very, very oddly. There's also a little odd thing near Hawaii, a little northwest of Hawaii. Another weird thing northwest of Hawaii is gonna take shape in 90 hours. Anyways, this notch here that's coming down the west coast. You know, I highly doubt that it's gonna bring any sort of significant precipitation. I feel it's mainly a cool down event because the eastern half of the US is gonna be warmer, they're forecasting. And then after that, seems like they're gonna allow a more easterly flow, but they're obviously not gonna leave it alone, don't think. Okay, let's play this one time. Right, you see the thing coming down into California, plus 90 hours it's reached there, and then it's a giant high right here, and then it breaks down, and yeah, it's very, very interesting what these guys are gonna pull off. There shouldn't be a huge tight notch in the jet streams at all. Naturally, there's notches, but they blow on through. But this right here is just, look at that, plus 102 hours. That looks very, very weird to me. Then it splits off, and then who knows what's going to happen to it. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and please share. We need to continue to expose this weather warfare that's being waged against us.